physicists can tell that there's extra mass there, because the best example would be Andromeda and the Milky Way. Well, Andromeda, it has a bigger, it's an elliptical, it has a bigger swath, okay, that it takes up, and it has about 1 trillion stars, whereas the Milky Way has about 400 billion. So it's got more stars, and it has 140 to 240 million solar mass black hole in its center. So we know it contains a lot more mass in terms of the luminous matter you can see, but the Milky Way isn't equal in every way, and they can tell this gravitationally, that the Milky Way is indeed a heavyweight, just like Andromeda. The only thing is they can't physically see the mass. So they basically know that there must be either dark matter or some large amount of mass that is there in the Milky Way that makes it a titan, just like Andromeda. But yeah, with the neutron star, you can just picture a star. It has a very high energy content density. It's gooey. It's a plasma. When that thing gets to the end of its life cycle and it collapses, 1.4 solar masses will give you your neutron star. So that's going to be an incredibly hot, incredibly dense, and small hunk of mass with a really, really high thermal value. But at a point, mass can become like an insulator, if you think about it. Like you just keep adding coats and adding coats and adding coats, you get hotter and hotter and hotter. But if you added so many, okay, that it crushed the mass so much that particles can't move around and bump into each other, all right? A lot of the kinetic energy that they derive up from being crushed together goes out the window, because now things get too still. And this is what happens with the crushing gravity of a black hole, is that it actually crushes the mass to the point where it can no longer express a thermal value. So the temperature goes down to absolute zero. And that's the point at which all molecular motion ceases. That's the point where time stops. Because you can't have time. If you can't have electromagnetic force and you can't measure anything, you can't move independently, you have no way of telling time. So, interesting stuff.